I found this new game.
Right away.
It was just
Is that specific statistic is from 9 minutes ago, when honor mode was still very new. The most recent stats they posted show that now over 140,000 people play. So at this point, it's less about being part of a small group and more about not being left behind. Certainly, I'd add my own
so.
channel, but Honor has plenty of its own. So the only thing I'm going to add is that I have to reach max level before the playthrough is over. That way, I can't just end the game in Act 2 and pretend like that counts. Before we get started, let's play a little game. Take a quick guess how many tries this will take me. Granted, I'm not very good at this game, but I do usually learn from my mistakes. Got your number? Alright, well, if you're wrong, you gotta like and subscribe. Deal? What's that?
Craft.
I can't.
Rusting
I'm just gonna
protection.
assume it's a deal. Okay.
Oh,
Enough
nice.
talk. Let's talk more. So there's some very important choices to make right off the bat. What race, class,
Okay, that's
and
cool.
genitals are we gonna have? Oh yeah, you can change your genitals. It's great. I decided
I'm
to
watching
make Dragon Balls because they seem like they.
So, okay.
Then for class,
So,
I chose to be a monk.
I want dexterity and strength.
Have extra attack ability right at the start. Get to attack and then do an unarmed attack as a bonus action, and I think that'll help a lot as we go. Not to mention, Monk is arguably the most powerful class in the game from start to finish, so yeah, feels like an easy choice.
I will need health. There's leveling rewards, that's cool.
It's got some power to it.
This has potential.
I just clicked random until I got
so
one
far.
I liked. But that's pretty much it for Brecken. Let's get into the actual game. I won't lie to you guys, I was very nervous for this challenge. But hey, if 100,000 some people can do it, then I probably can. I'll go to the starting group.
So here's like friends with season 10.
Lae'zel. Lae'zel is one of my favorite companions, and my love from the I Killed Every NPC in Baldur's Gate 3 video. Just check that out. I actually just recently put all 3 parts in one video with some screen director's commentary. Self-promo aside, fuck these imps and rest until we found Shadowheart, one of my other favorite companions. These two together are especially fun, so expect to see plenty of them as we go on. I made it to the helm of the Nautiloid and didn't bother stopping to fight Zalkor the Mind Flayer. I didn't have enough dick to reach the transponder, but Lae'zel gave me the push I needed to get there. After crash landing, I picked Sharp back up, hit level 2, killed some TikTokers, and grabbed a star in, or I guess he grabbed me, and killed this injured Mind Flayer for easy XP, and then managed 2 pieces.
I can't shoot
as well, though he's not coming with us, and then we checked out these ruins. I always start this off by breaking this stage to kill the 2 guys standing under it, and then jump for the other 2. And this time was no exception. I took the fight inside, and though it didn't get very far, I pulled it off. I had a very near miss with the sarcophagus trap, but then run into the skeleton, much more successful than I otherwise assumed. And hey, there's Withers. He's an ugly bastard, but with that all done, I think it's time I go visit the Emerald Grove. There's a ruckus outside the grove, and me and my buddy stepped in to help. We all came out with just a few cuts and bruises, but then inside the walls, I watched Aerodin get robbed. I never get tired of that. Now, look, I can't sit and talk too long about everything I did in this playthrough, because unfortunately, spoiler alert, it doesn't go all the way, and I want to get to how it ended.
I stealth attack? I guess stealth attack? That's still after online? Supply cache, let's take it. Mana, oh, this magic? That's cool.
Watched Ellie die, killed the owl bear. After killed paladins of Tyranny, fought spells, saved Renwyn and Florid from Lockheed's Rest, and oh my god, so much more. But like I said, I can't mention it all because I want this video to end someday. So let's get to where things went wrong. I was at level 4 and feeling pretty confident, so I went down to Auntie Ethel's swamp. She had killed Joel and Demir, so after I jumped Gandrel and murdered him in cold blood, I told Mayrina about Ethel's transgressions. Ethel returned the favor by sinking her red caps on me, and that was fine. Then I went downstairs, opened the door, and made an awful decision. Ethel has some slave folk, obscuring masks at the control. Usually I'd kill them, but I wanted to save resources, so I just scooted on by them. And that would be fine, except what I didn't know is that once you reach Ethel, if the masks are still around, they'll join her in the already pretty tough fight. In the words of our Lord and Savior Jeff Probst, I was outwitted, outplayed, and outlasted. That being said,
Clock Road.
First, kill the fucking masks. Second, I shouldn't be too afraid to long rest. But hey, I wasn't expecting to win on the first try. I'm happy with how far I am. You have to make another character, and this time I'm going with a tiefling. Tieflings are my favorite race to play as, not only because they look cool, but they've also got some decent perks. Adding on to the name of
Unlock trade skills, PvP, achievements.
but you can't make Dragonborn Guardians. What the fuck is that about? Well, instead, I tried my best to remake Cat's character from the chat GPT that plays Baldur's Gate 3 video. I don't have the mods on now, so this is the best I can do. On the ship this time, I tried fighting Zog, but it was clearly a losing battle, so I dipped. I got the gang back, myself, Shark, Astarion, and Lae'zel, and did pretty much everything in the same order. This time, I had to kill Arca and Nembos because they attacked me when I tried to save Sauce. I just farmed and killing myself, guys, jeez. All was well and good until, again, at level 4, the run was in dire straits. You see, I confronted the Githyanki outside the mountain pass. I was planning on playing along with their requests, and all I really wanted was some XP. But when I lied to Voss, we would fall for our tricks, and he ordered the Gith to attack us. Astarion just barely escaped with a potion of invisibility, but this was another good lesson to learn. I didn't even know that could happen. I came back and got my revenge on the survivors, though. Eventually, though, I got back around to Ethel's swamp, and I was determined to bring her down. She slipped away into the basement, and after handling the red caps, I chased after her. Now, I wasn't going to make the same mistake that I did last time, so I of course stopped to kill the masks. The fight went fine, but I was honestly terrified to face Ethel. I got some sleep, and then ripped off the band-aid. And you know what? She wasn't here. What the fuck? Where is she? Oh, there she is. That was weird. Anyways, it's fight time. I should probably stop doing this at level 4 and wait until level 5 so that I have an extra attack. But with the Clutch Guiding Bolt from Shadowheart, I was able to pull out the win. That feels great. Now we're at least guaranteed to make it further than we did on our first run, which I'd most certainly call progress. I took the gang to the Goblin Camp next, where we were brain assaulted by the Absolute. We'll get to the Absolute later. For now, though, I've got plenty of work to do here. I nipped off a few stinkers on my way in, and then got past the guards inside the temple. I was afraid I would get attacked if I didn't let Priestess Gut brand me, so I let it happen, and then I took her to her room, and I was gonna say it, I freaked it. What the fuck? It's not even written down. I took her to her room and put her. Sorry, I freaked it. It's really. I don't know where that came from. And then took her to her room to put her down away from prying eyes. I went after the second goblin leader next, Minthara. I like Minthara, and you can knock her out, and she'll come back in Act 2. But I was just so nervous that I totally forgot and ended up killing her. Whoops. Sorry.
So there's level requirements for stuff?
Which is when your party gets a serious upgrade, that extra attack ability I keep yapping about. I slept before confronting the third and final leader of the Goblin Camp, and that night I started turning into a mind flame. Lae'zel wanted to mercy kill me and herself, but I talked her down. Then, in a dream, I saw Elara Firebrand. Damn, I'm tall, I didn't even realize. Dror Ragslip was on the agenda the next day, and man, I gotta tell you, that shit was easy peasy. I was expecting a much more intense battle, but my team barely got thrashed. That was a pretty big, potentially dangerous, mind you, boost to my ego. I whipped out pretty much all of the remaining goblins next, both inside and outside, and then popped back into the grove to brag. I mean, to tell them of my good deeds. And that meant it was celebration time. Now, I may have bumped uglies with Lae'zel, but you best believe I'm always down to party with Sharky. Halsin jump scared me, as per usual, and though I'm going to clear the Underdark before the mountain pass, I did stop in quickly to grab some good pumpkin gear from Lady Esther. Like I said though, it's the Underdark for us next. I almost lost the run right away to this spectre. I've got to get my head in the game. I can't mess around with that. The people let so if I'm saying that right, also kicked my ass, so I wound down that night with Lae'zel. Well, let's be honest, there's not much winding down going on. The next day was full of Wergar, filling with pulvers, this idiot that water, his friends, some stragglers, and even my eyeball. Thanks, Fuller. I cleared out the rest of the Wergar, which level 6, got my ass kicked by Peter. That was it. And then managed to win a very, very long and rough battle against Rick. That was pretty much it for the Underdark, which just left me with the mountain pass for me. As far as I killed every creature I came across and was trying to win as much XP as physically possible before action. The crush was fun, lots of fighting, lots of killing, and we even hit level 7. And then when I finished the Wargaz, it was really rough, but I did clutch up. After finishing the mountain pass off by killing these Death Shepherds and their cool buddies, we ran into Elminster to deliver Mistra's mission to Dave. The game forced us to sleep before entering the Shadow-Cursed lands, but in the morning, it was finally time. We are officially
This isn't my first shipwreck, you know.
I majorly panicked when I accidentally ran right
Well,
into
now.
Cardis, but by the grace of
I was beginning to think I was. I'm not about to go walking away. This isn't my first shipwreck, you know.
Light, and though
And
Jahira
there's
was
booty
suspicious
to be
of us
had
right
here.
away, she
In
relented when
fact,
all stepped in to
you
vouch
want
for
to
me. I did a
partner
little
up,
socializing
I'll split
inside the
my
inn
fortune.
before heading upstairs to get my
Okay,
protection spells on the demon. But then we were attacked by Marcus,
she's,
the big flaming fist. This fight was fine. Well, for me, they beat the dog shit out of Isabel and ran off with her mangled body, which broke her spell over the inn and turned all the Harpers into shadow-cursed people. I really thought this was the end. I thought there was no chance we were going to win this incredibly lopsided battle. But with help from Chihiro, by some miracle, we pulled it off. Hey man, if I can survive that, I can survive anything. Or so I thought. I went down under
So she just...
to her a lot more than I remember, and with just coming out of a big fight, I was not prepared for that.
I gotta help her, bro. Like,
I
do
thought
this yourself.
but Elox are, well, meaning. They kept paralyzing us, which is some bullshit, frankly. But when there's literally nothing I can do, there was nothing I could do. We got bullied, demoralized, and this, of all days, is the way my second ended. I was distraught. That run was the golden child. It just seemed to have so much potential, and then it was all lost in such a strange encounter. I didn't realize Meatlox were so dangerous, but, lesson learned, I guess. For my next character, I got some face and hair mods because this time I was going to use a little girl power. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dumbuli Asana, a human monk who is about to have a rough time. If the last one was the golden child, this is the red-headed stepchild. I took Dumbuli as our guardian and got started. On the ship this time, I used the Nautiloid tanks to try and blow up Salt, but it was less than successful. It's okay. The game brought me back to life after the ship crashed, and hey, Lizelle Spirit is here. Sweet, that's actually kind of a nice way to get her on my team earlier this season. Even with her, though, we got beat up pretty bad. These intellect devourers, we all nearly died against the adventurers inside the ruins, and didn't have a great time with the skeletons. Honestly, I just wasn't feeling this run. I probably should have taken a break after losing Dumbledore, because I just so badly wanted to get back to Act 2 so I could get closer to beating this challenge that I was being kind of reckless. Gale got folded up like a damn Family Guy character. I had an awful fight against the Owl Bear. I even had terrible rolls for trying to befriend Scratch and my dogs. It just seemed like we were holding on by a thread for this entire playthrough. But everything came to a head when I approached the Gith Yankee again. I was so close to level 5. I just wanted a tiny bit of XP from lying to them, but I totally ignored the lesson I learned earlier, and the conversation turned into a fight, and it did not end well for me. It's okay. This run was pretty miserable. I had some bad
There
luck,
you
but
are.
it was
Let's
mostly
see.
my fault.
Unfortunately, I worry it's hell you're warning me
just
now
so I
is
could
leaving.
reset my brain. Alright, I gave it a few days, and I'm feeling much better, more motivated, and ready to get her done. For my fourth character, I went with a female high elf named Dumbuli Sonabeth. The major difference here being that she's not a monk like my previous attempts. This time, I'm
This is an axe.
Paladin is my personal favorite class, and the sole reason why I said that monk is arguably the most powerful class, as paladins are also ridiculously strong. Dumbuli Asana is my guardian first, and I am ready to take this game by the balls. It's getting really hard not to repeat myself, but everything went pretty well in the early parts of this run. The only sad thing that happened was that Scratch attacked me because I used the Friends cantrip on him, but I didn't kill him, I just knocked him out. Sorry, man, I just wanted to be friends. Flynn gave me a scare similar to my running with the Gith on my Dumbulia's run, but Gale got out and saved the day. I also killed the Centaur and took their spec polymers because I assumed they might be necessary. Also, make sure you read Joaquin's rest the day after you rescue Florid, because this place has so much camp supplies. I tried to lie to the kid again. I know, I said at the start of the video mistakes, but hey, I can't fail every time, right? He said right because at this point I actually got it. Anyways, this time I was smart enough to leave the star hiding off screen so that he would revive us if we ran into trouble. That proved to be very necessary because we got stupid by the kid. I wanted revenge, but I went to sleep first. I guess Lae'zel doesn't approve of sleeping, though. That is kind of funny. And hey, Scratch is here! I'm so glad he came to camp. I went back to the Gith Yankee, but this time used a secret weapon that I keep forgetting exists. I tossed the Iron Flask, and spoiler alert, it's got a spectator inside of it. My enemy is my enemy's friend, after all. Wait, that's not right. Oh shit, it's right. The spectator just decided it was being able to dump me and started attacking us instead of the Gith. Not cool, man. I I was in severe danger of losing the run to this dynamic duo that I unintentionally created of Aretha and the Spectator, so I ran for my life. When I got to camp, I could see that the battle between those two picked up, though. Place your bets, folks. Who you got? And it is the Spectator. I brought my friends back in. So the Spectator, squad light. In the squad light, I also destroyed all of the goblin victors and their little goblins. I made kissy with Shadowheart that night, and then dealt with Act 1.5 just like we did before. I had a pretty tough experience with the Crash, though. I got absolutely robbed against Rolls. Gale picked up with a lightning bolt to start the battle, and somehow that got my squad surprised, which means we all missed out on an entire turn. I barely managed to sneak away with my life. I revived everyone, and we had a much better chance without that bullshit. But I made a huge mistake after the fight. I just wanted to loot the
Well, they're probably not playing on PlayStation.
Lae'zel thought I was abandoning our mission to enter the Astral Prism, and she attacked me. I knocked her out, but there wasn't much hope of turning her back. I talked to my guardian, but Lae'zel was still my enemy when I returned. Well, sorry, Lae'zel. That's all done. I'm off to Act 2 again. I took the Grimforge path this time because it's a lot closer to Last Light. Last Light, I kept Isabel on her feet against Marcus, and the Inn, the Harpers, and myself all survived. I opted to skip over the Matrix this time, and instead followed after the Harpies to go do battle with Carnace. It's much less scary when you have some meat shields. Meat shields. It was a pretty good fight, but his backup is pretty lackluster, so it's an unfair matchup for him. I freed Dolly, and then that night, Damuni Asana popped into my dream. I ran into Roland the next day while he was getting jumped. I told him he was there. That was not a complete and utter coincidence, I swear. Silly was a boy aside, I had some phones to take out. I was pretty afraid that Karen Goff was going to be my team. The fight went surprisingly well. You kind of just have to ignore her until the visages are gone, and then she's essentially helpless. One thorn down. Okay, this is mean, but also kind of funny. But when I got to the waiting room, I wrote in my notes, "Hi, big fat fuck." It's not sure what's going on. I did a little drinking, a swinging went anyway, but I kept getting good rolls and actually ended up just overfilling him. I honestly could not believe that was a second thorn down. I killed his friends, I killed the shadows of the base of the building, and I decided that instead of risking my life to convince Malice to kill himself, I would just leave him. It did finish the job, but with him hurt and his nurses obliterated, it was much more reasonable. I also helped Halsin rescue Daniel. My run almost ended when I accidentally ran into the shambling mound and his little buddies. But like so many times before, I survived, got my squad back, and returned to finish the job. I was running out of things to do after that, so I figured it was a good time to head into Moonrise. And look who's alive! And what's happening to my frames? Oh, wait. This is awful. I went to the basement where I saved Minthara from her captors and then talked my way out of the tower with her. I went back to free the prisoners.
Intelligence also, just in case I ever get some cool spells.
We're making progress through Act 2, so let's take that.
I'm as grateful as but don't ask me to go on a food crusade against those red eyes. I'll set your part aside until you get there. Besides, Captain, don't worry about me.
And then got the jump on Balthazar. I probably could have utilized flesh before killing them, but hey, can't go back now. The next day, I got started on the Gauntlet Trials. Remember how I breezed through them in the Every NPC video? Yeah, it was a lot harder this time. I did them though, and then popped in to gamble with Yurki. I was hoping I could smooth talk him into killing his Paragon allies, but I failed pretty bad and they attacked. I honestly had no chance, but I did some damage before I got out of there, and then I basically just kept reviving my team, throwing them in new gear, and eventually it got the job done. Honor mode is just so silly. Speaking of silly, folks at home,
gave it a try. I've never seen Kurapika. I was looking for if you find the
it is until I was struck down by pure bullshit.
And they shall witness the power manifest, the true future of the human race.
I didn't do it wrong. I didn't overestimate myself. I didn't make a mistake and overcommit. I didn't start some battle accidentally. I just simply got killed by a glitch. A glitch? Sometimes life just isn't fair, and there's not much you can do. I consider just continuing dishonorably, but I think enemies use their legendary actions to do that, and if that's the case, then I wouldn't really have been moving honorably. So I sucked up my pride, I buried my frustration, and I just did the same. If that doesn't ever up, I don't know what else I can do. I really liked the way that run went, and I was sad that it ended like that, so I made my next character to be edgier version of Dabulius Annabeth, this time being Dabulius Annabethina. This has got to be the run. Not just because I'm depressed and out of patience after that run, but because I'm out of space to name characters. I mean, it's nothing so wrong. As far as this one goes, I planted my feet, rooted my teeth, and caught all the way up to where I was before. I did things pretty identical, though I did save Lae'zel this time, so I guess there's a little positivity in there. So I wasn't naive enough to think the game would be fair this time, so I did put my entire team on the elevator. And guess what? Again. Imagine if I had just assumed it would work, if I just trusted the game, and then I lost all my progress. This is actually pretty frustrating, and apparently it's happened to other people too. Larry, I'm wagging my finger at you. I eventually fixed it, I don't even know how, but my team and I were able to make it through the Shadow Belt. I was pretty on edge.
Oh, boss.
I was struggled to not kill the Night Song, and I did not attack that one. And that's exactly what happened. My 4 normal rolls and Shadowheart was produced, but just then, I had a potentially amazing idea. I switched to Lae'zel, turned the Spear of Night from Shark's inventory, don't even know why, rock fucking thing, and blew it off the cliff. Without the Spear, Shark will let me. I've said it at least once or twice now that I genuinely can't. But we're not out of the fire yet. Oh no, we were out of the fire at least we're you see, now we actually got it. But I'm so close to level 9. I made some pit stops first, did some hurdling, and barely was able to hit level 9 before heading to the tower. I tried to steal myself as best I could, approaching the final battle. Sorrel told me she wanted to how to slay. Also, it's not a day in this fight. We're actually kind of fighting this guy. This is like I was going to let my go take hold. I know there's still plenty of orders to come. We headed to the top of the tower where we had our second battle. The main objective for this one is just to get Kefir to retreat as fast as possible. My first round was pretty bad. Round 2, Starry popped Kefir just enough for him to run away. With him gone, the rest of this fight is kind of a joke, but we've got a large leap to make next. A very scary, dangerous leap. And that leap is right into the heart of this place. Once you go in here, there's no coming out until you leave Catholic career. So, you best believe I was feeling shaky. I didn't want to let myself be consumed by it though, and I managed to save both Zephyr and Missouri. As for the rest of the fighting, though I may have missed out on a little XP, I did want to go risking my life for no reason. So, this is it. I descended into Catherine's arena and walked in with my head held high. If I'm gonna die here, I'm gonna go down swinging. First, though, we see for the first time other than the images the Absolute shows us back in Act 1, Gortash and Ori. They've got a plan to control the Absolute, and to do so, they need the Astral Prism. Well, it's a good thing for them, but I brought it right to their doorstep. Myself and Ketheric had a little back and forth, but talk is cheap. It's action time. I had enough foresight to keep Astarion in the shadows, and he was able to free Aelin. Then myself and Lae'zel really started laying into Ketheric. Got him near death, and then Astarion hit it once to finish the job. Pretty easy, right? I mean, once I saw him right
Steal that which is mine.
That was just the
You assault my followers, and now you disrupt my plans.
By the name of Myrtle.
This is personal.
He is not happy that we've defeated his chosen. So he pops in to handle us himself. Lae'zel says it best. Not exactly fluent in the Gith language, but I think that means damn. Myrtle is ridiculously strong, and his legendary actions are really good. He's truly a threat like none other DPM encountered. I had Astarion silence Myrtle, but I don't really think that helped. Then this Mind Flayer Church stunned me, which means I'll miss my next turn. Aelin landed a decent shot, but only one. The Necromites really wanted Lae'zel dead, so I knew I'd have to take them out fast if I would pull this up. With a scroll of chain lightning, sharks, almost every one of them then quickly confirmed my theories as he laid out Astarion in one single sweep, effectively taking him out of the fight with how far the rest of his was. My heart was pretty much in my knees at this point, and I guess Aelin got taken over or something because she ran up and finished Astarion off. Gee, thanks Aelin, you're such a great help. Shadowheart used my last scroll of chain lightning. Hurt him pretty bad, and finished off with his like devourer surrounding him. I wasn't aware at this point that Myrtle has a thing called Myrtle's presence, which essentially
This is our reprieve for today.
Close to it. So I was pretty lost when this heal didn't have any effect on my teammates. Myrtle took another swing, this time at Lae'zel and I, and we're in the gosh. Finally, as he lands, he hits on
It is time you know the whole
I
truth.
was pretty convinced I had lost, so I turned Lae'zel invisible and had her start radio ringing. I'll have to go up the elevator and Char was trying to do some damage, but I still didn't know yet that she couldn't heal me. Got really lucky when he missed his attack on Aelin, but we're still in Hobgoblin. Then I had an idea. I turned it on with the tanks and spoke powder bombs and
This
then I
island
and
has
placed them all
always
around.
guarded
Sure, I'd
the
go down, but
promise
Murkle was
of
coming with me. On
paradise.
Shark's turn, I blew it all up.
Humanity
See you
cast
later.
out, deemed unworthy of such
But it
blessings.
wasn't enough. He took some damage, but he was still on his feet, and I know who he is. I couldn't get myself back up either. Still in his bone chill AoE. Miracle knocked Aelin, and I was very confident that I would lose if I didn't escape. Thankfully, Lae'zel had reached the door. Too bad it doesn't open. That's right, there's no way out. Once this fight starts, there's no escaping until Myrkle is dead. I feel like somewhere inside I knew that, but I chose to ignore it. Shark wasn't able to do much to him on her turn, and even worse, there was an army of Necromites running up to Myrkle to sacrifice themselves to heal him. I have lost. It's just simply no coming back from this. But I won't quit yet. Shark, with some invisibility, got close enough to resurrect me with a scroll of Revivify.
Did you see my
That's right, I know how
card?
to say it. It
The
didn't matter
wilds
much,
of
though, as the
Aeterna have
Necromites
never
knocked me
been
right back
safe.
down.
But
Shadowheart
the
went down on
roads?
Myrkle's next turn, but I still had a hidden Lae'zel remaining. She got close enough to throw some potions my way, and though I wasn't at full strength, I was much better off than I was before. I had her go invisible again, and then we both got as far away from Myrkle as possible, just to catch our breath. Myrkle then ended Shadowheart, but with the distance we had gained, I drank a potion of angelic slumber to get myself back into god-slaying form. Lae'zel, absolute hero, stood guard and fended off the approaching Necromites. Turns out Myrkle has an attack that covers the entire arena, and he won't be right back up, wasting that very important potion and dashing my little leaf home. The Necromites kept on feeding him, but I got brave enough to get close to him again and picked Aelin up. We're sitting ducks, but it may give Lae'zel time to figure something out. Aelin was smart enough to distance herself so that I wouldn't get killed in the same swing. But the Necromites didn't let her have any reprieve. I really had to trust her though, because on my turn, I spent my actions throwing healing potions her way. Lae'zel revived Shark, but in hindsight, I shouldn't have sent her much further away. I laid the herd on as much as I could, while Lae'zel got us another ally by bringing Starman. I was back to a full team, but they're all pretty hurt, and embarrassingly, I still hadn't figured out the whole Myrkle's presence thing yet, so I still wasn't able to heal anyone except Aelin, who was just far enough away. I did my job as a paladin, though, tanking attacks and trying to heal my teammates. Lae'zel and I got Astarion back in shape, and Shark gave us a Guardian of Faith to lend out. Shadowheart and I went down,
Did you
but I
see my
finally had
card?
Astarion back to do
The
some
wilds.
damage.
I've never seen
As much as
this.
we could. Lae'zel, the Guardian of Faith, and Aelin tried, but yet again, Myrkle healed her damage back. Then I realized something. He's out of Necromites to heal him. He's out of allies in general, actually, and even though we're not all on our feet, we still have a full team. Lae'zel used a Dimension Door scroll to pull her and myself far from Myrkle, and then Astarion blinded him with an arrow of darkness. Then Aelin did the coolest thing ever. She pushed Shadowheart just far enough away from Myrkle so that she would lose the Bone Chill debuff and she could actually be healed. I am so glad I put my faith in Aelin. Astarion brought Shark back up to snuff, and Lae'zel got me back in the game. I finally had the advantage. I took my time to get everybody back to full health before rushing in, and once we were, I just rained down attacks on Myrkle. He fought back, of course, but he didn't have anyone to hold his hand now, and we brought him to his stupid, non-existent knees. That's right, Kether bitch. We didn't give in, didn't give up, and we won. Fuck that guy. I know that fight lasted almost 3 pages of this script, but I wanted to make sure you guys felt the high highs and the low lows that came with it. I mean, it took me almost exactly an hour in real time to do it, so I felt both humbled and unstoppable after that. Isabel and Aelin reunited, Jaheira agreed to come with us to Baldur's Gate, Shark learned about her past, and we all got some much-needed sleep. Just because we overcame an insane hurdle does not mean we're done yet. Not even close, actually. We still have the longest, maybe most intense act of the game left, so let's not drag our feet. I destroyed the Githyanki waiting for me outside of the road to Baldur's Gate, thanks Voss for the heads up, and then there was nothing stopping us from heading into Act 3. I got to enjoy the curse being lifted this time, and we left the Shadow-Cursed lands better than we had found them. And there it is! The city of Baldur's Gate is just within our reach. My little team has come so far. Also forgot to mention I'm dating Lae'zel. What can I say? I like strong women. That night, we were ambushed by Orpheus's royal guard. Though Astarion got his shit pushed in, we bolted straight into the prison. We, of course, came to learn that our guardian is actually a mind flayer. But having played the game so many times at this point, I didn't make a big deal of it. We fought off the Gith, and then I gave in to his suggestion to embrace partial ceramorphosis. I mean, hey, I need to take any advantage I can get, right? I wasn't supposed to eat it, though. I genuinely did not think that would be a problem. Well, even though we can't reuse it, at least it worked for me. We finally got to sleep, and when we woke up, Sharp showed us her new hair. Very cool. Now look, guys, this video is much longer than I meant for it to be. So let's
Welcome to Pride Become
live.
So it's
Until
true.
our next big fight.
The worst part, of course, I just do it.
Really funny. Didn't know you could do that. I killed this mind flayer. I had some fun at the circus, and after fighting the doppelgangers, I reached level 10. Remember, I killed the game max level 12. Back to work though, I killed the Stone Lord thugs. I got bailed out of an arrest by some gnomes who were compensated to be murdered, which made me lose my oath, and I just figured I'd embrace the whole even Oathbreaker thing. I got the Orphic Hammer to keep Lae'zel happy. I killed more doppelgangers in Danthalon's basement, and even though Gortash destroyed my frame rate, I decided it would be in everyone's best interest if I worked with him. Then it was finally time to enter the city. I kind of wish there was a cutscene that showed walking into the city, even if just for editing purposes, but we're here. I got us a room at the Elf Song Tavern. I killed some rats, killed some bigger, taller, or green rats, and then that she has
Welcome to the Regent's Rise. Sleep here and wake up feeling like a king.
I started solving the open-hand temple murders and saw this cool-ass cutscene for the first time. Damn, Astarion, didn't know you had that dog in you. Quick aside, he has really grown on me. Like him, Lae'zel, and Shadowheart are my core favorites now. I stopped Dolar from killing Figaro and Davella, and then that same night I had an interesting encounter with Minthara. She wanted to read my mind, and I let her right in. She asked what I see in her, and when I saw the option for a lover, I thought we'd just have a cute little exchange. Like I said, I love strong women. When I said it, though, I guess it automatically meant we were now dating, and me and Lae'zel were through. Whoops. Hey, you know what? They're both great, and being with Minthara is fine by me. Though I just said Lae'zel is in my core team, I figured I'd bring Minthara along in her place now. I didn't end up banging the Emperor, though I may have thought about it, and in the morning my team battled Saravok. I defeated him pretty easily, which was nice, and then I beat Valeria to death. Felt good, not gonna lie. While on the quest to kill Auntie Ethel, I reached level 11. I got sidetracked before I found the hag, though, and ended up going toe-to-toe with Lorowan. Roland solidified his spot on my good side forever by helping me out, and Aelin put that dude on a stretcher. This scene is crazy. I got back on track, though, and killed Ethel, I think this time for good. Totally forgot about Vanra, though. Sorry, kid. With those names under my belt, I thought it was time to take on Odin. Maul then tested me in his murder trial, and if you're not careful here, this weirdly red guy will kill your entire team. So you've got to be quick at putting him down. And like my old lady would tell you, I'm nothing if not quick. Old lady means girlfriend, right? Oh my god. Old lady, wife? A mother, usually one's a wife. Okay, so it's both? Yeah, let's just pretend that to them. Then I stepped up to Orin, but unlike Ketheric, I had a plan this time. So, with the rune-powdered bomb and a rune-powdered barrel I stole from those gnomes earlier, I blew up most of them and myself. I had left Minthara and Astarion behind, so even though Shard and I both died here, we were still very much in this. We still had a really rough time finishing the fight, though. I kept Minthara out of it, though, which meant I could die as many times as I needed to. I mean, it's 600 gold every time it happens, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Eventually, though, it was Minthara herself who stepped in and knocked Orin into the abyss, which was just what I needed. Unfortunately, Halsin died in that explosion, so, sorry. I wasn't done with big battles yet, because the next place we went was down under the Worm's Rock Fortress to confront Ansur. I approached Ansur, and he and the Emperor had their little back and forth. I'm not here for lore, though. I'm here for blood. And XP. It's mostly XP. I won't get super into this fight because it took a good while, but we killed the Myrmidons fairly quickly, and then Ansur almost ended my run. I retreated and revived once again, and like Merkel, he wasn't able to take us all on his own. I wasn't at max level yet, though, so the next place I visited was the Sharan Sanctuary that Shadowheart was meant to bring the artifact to. I left Minthara behind once again, and funny enough, I ended up beating the Sharans 3v20. Shar got to see her parents, but ultimately had to let them die so that she could be free Shar. I was so close to level 12, so I went back into the city
Oh my god.
I've been translating the fish guys, and that was enough for me to finally make it to level 12. I was pretty much at max strength, and I could have gone straight to the end at this point, but I felt like I owed a starry moon to this quest. So, against my better judgment, we made our visit to Cazador's. We rolled right on through Cazador's little petting zoo, and I skipped the banter with these poor souls. I had one focus, and that was killing Astarion's master. Now, look, I'm not always the sharpest crane in the shed. So, in hindsight, I should have left Astarion in camp. but because I brought him, I put myself at a disadvantage immediately. And I didn't leave anyone outside of the fight, so I was all in whether I liked it or not, and I did not. The fight turned sour remarkably fast, and once again it was Minthara who was able to escape with her life. When we came back for round 2, I crept up and freed Astarion. That way we were back at full strength. And you know what? Astarion did great. We knocked out Cazador, and then Astarion finished him off for real. No super vampire Astarion, though. Instead, we freed the little vamplings and let them travel to the Underdark to live out the rest of their days. My companions' quests were complete, and I felt ready to officially conquer Honor Mode. I went to Gortash to show him Orin's Netherstone, and he scared the life out of me by testing my gangster. I thought I was gonna have to kill him, but it ended up fine. We traveled to the Morphic Pool, and with all 3 Netherstones, we tried to take over the Absolute. It was too smart, though, and it put Gortash down like a sick chihuahua. The Emperor pulled me out, but he made it clear that we need a Mind Flayer to take this thing down. I was planning on working with Orpheus when I had Lae'zel, but she's not around anymore, so I don't really see any reason to. The Emperor took a bite of the Githyanki, and we had all we needed to beat the Brain. The hard part now is getting to it, or that's what I thought at least. I pretty much snuck my whole way to the Brain, only stopping to fight a few enemies. That meant I didn't really spend any resources, and I was more than prepared for the final fight. I scaled the Brain Stem, and the Absolute roasted me in the gang, but I wasn't letting some disembodied loser get the best of me. I took my first round to summon some allies, not because I was planning on fighting for long, but because I needed them to take the heat off my team. The Emperor reached the Brain pretty quickly, and I helped him out by throwing a globe of invulnerability up around him. That way, even if the enemies wanted to attack him, they couldn't possibly do anything. Then it was a simple matter. The portal was opened, and we flooded in as quick as we could. Funny enough, the Absolute isn't really that much of a threat when you reach its core. It was a thunderous smite from myself that finished the job, and with that attack, I had successfully taken down Honor Mode. As we watch the end, I just want to say how I feel about this whole experience. Baldur's Gate 3 is such an amazing game, and I think that Honor Mode is one of the best ways to go through it. Not just because finishing it feels rewarding, which it does, but because in Honor Mode you have to...
I know many of you read the title and assume that this is clickbait or exaggeratory, but it's not. You may not believe me yet. Wait until I show you the evidence, the proof. This is the most unhinged individual we've looked at yet.
Well,
He's equal parts
I'm gonna
frightening
go to bed
and
because I have my birthday
tiptoeing
tomorrow
on the
and
fine line
stuff.
between intrigue